Everybody, it is good to be with you again. I'm going to give everyone just a second to kind of hop on and chat with you and join the chat. Speaking of, I need to actually bring up my chat. There it is, Restream. So if you don't know, I'm using a cool service called Restream, and Restream is what it allows me to do is have a chat open where I can connect and talk to each and every one of you guys who are watching this. So that's there now. So if you're in the chat, if you're here, if you're able to make it out today for this live, then just say what's up. For the rest of you, they're going to be watching this later. I want all of you to know that I'm excited to be here with you today. We're talking a little bit about how to apply to junior dev jobs the right way. And the thing is I'm not going to be today specifically. I'm not going to be diving like deep into looking at job postings and stuff like that. I'm planning on doing that later on in the next couple weeks. And my goal is to go live every day for 2 weeks, just trying to give you like some really helpful, just my favorite things for you to really just to help you with your job search. All right. So first thing is I want you to know is if that's something that interests you, then make sure you head to tech-ology.co. You can sign up for our new newsletter here, and it's just a cool place to basically. I'm going to be sending you out all the content that I'm putting out. I'm going to get any cool articles or anything else that I see that I think might be helpful. I'm going to be sending that all to you on the email list. All right, so that's cool. We started a podcast here. There's lots of stuff you probably don't know, but just content that we just want to really help people with. Another thing that's going on is this bad boy. I'm giving away a free developer resume review, and what we're doing here is I'm going to kind of go through your stuff. Uh, SEO it and help it to go pass through some ATS systems, give you some critiques, some help, and kind of walk you through a little bit about getting a better resume. So if that's something that interests you, you could sign on here. And the cool part is you can get a bunch of entries into this competition. All you have to do is actually just you kind of share this and then it kind of goes off that way. Cool. All right, that's enough of that. That's giving you a little bit of time for all you guys that are all on here to join up. Now we are in the white background. Wow. All right, so let's jump in, okay? So first of all, a little bit about me. I'm 33 years old. I'm a dad of six. I've been a Salesforce developer for about 2 years now. And I want to help junior devs land their first job, whether that's in Salesforce, whether you're just fresh out of boot camp. I was so broke that I needed to land my first job. I did everything possible. I learned a ton. I want to pass that information on to you. Plus, now I get to see resumes. Now I'm on the other side, and I get to review resumes, and I get to review people applying to our jobs, and I'm learning a bunch about things that you shouldn't do and things that are worked really well. All right, so let's jump right in and let's stop talking about what's the white screen all about. All right, so let's jump in. All right, so first thing is that we're going to talk about fix your janky resume. So when we're applying to junior dev jobs, first thing you got to make sure your resume is on point. I did an entire webinar yesterday just talking about resumes, just the basics of that. There's a ton more to cover within that, but just yesterday was just the basics of that. Okay, did you know? Did you know that if on average, if they find one spelling or grammar mistake on your resume, it gets put in the trash? And they found that it only takes one grammatical error for them to trash your resume. You even made it through the ATS systems, but they're looking and you have an extra space, a comma where it shouldn't be. And for some, especially for some of you guys that don't like English is not your first language, like that's not easy, right? So anyways, we work with a lot of people to help them get through that. If that's something that you would ever need help with, reach out to me on LinkedIn, hit me up. I'd love to help you out with that a little bit. All right, so this was cool. I thought this was awesome. So what I did was for a bunch of these quotes that I'm about to read to you, what I did was I went on Reddit and I found this awesome post of people. This is during the pandemic. This is active. So this is about maybe a month old, a month and a half old. That these were here, and these are just some tips from people that actually work on the HR side of things and I'm going to kind of tell some stories and kind of help you with that. But I thought this was just a quick tip. Here's a free one. I didn't get to put it in my resume review thing, but it says federal HR. So this is for the government. Like this is someone an HR person for the government. Okay. So if you want to work for the government of your country or US, whatever, this is what it says. Federal HR here. If you put the words from the vacancy announcement about what you need to qualify in your resume, you'll almost always be qualified. We search for those words instead of reading an entire resume. You know what these guys do? They'll literally, from the job posting, they'll hit Control C, they'll copy it. Then they'll go to your resume, Control F, find, the find command, and they Control V, paste in your keyword. If the keyword is on the resume, they're like, oh, good. What we're going to talk about today, one of the things we're going to talk about is the HR department doesn't exactly know what your job needs. Like they don't speak developer, a lot of them. They don't speak technology, a lot of them. And so I think that this is a way for you to actually get your foot in the door, right? Like, so make sure that your resume has the right keywords that it's supposed to have and stuff like that. Once again, resume stuff, we talked all about that yesterday, but I just want to let you know that spelling and grammatical errors are the number one factor, whether your resume gets thrown in the trash or not experience. Does that make sense? You could be getting passed up for junior dev jobs because you have bad grammar. So do me a favor, check out Grammarly, like download the thing uh, on your computer, run your resume through that stuff, man. Pay for a month of it, whatever. Go through the free trial, whatever it takes, but get all the grammatical and spelling errors off your resume. All right, let's keep going. So second way that you should apply for junior dev jobs is you need to head off the beaten path. What does that mean? There is a certain stigma, an idea. By the way, if you're getting any value from this or if you're enjoying this, feel free to write a comment. And I want to answer a bunch of questions too at the end of this. So if you have any questions, save them for the end. You can ask them in the middle. I'll respond to them too. But yeah, just say what's up if you're here. Anyways, so head off the beaten path. There's a certain way that we're supposed to apply for jobs, right? And this certain and it basically looks like this. There's a job posting on Indeed, on LinkedIn, on Glassdoor, on Dice, on all these places. And so what happens you we think that the only way to get to a job is to actually put our resumes into these systems. We send them in, and then the recruiter's job is then to reply to whichever ones they like the most. All right, so that's fine. That's great. But here's the thing. When you're a junior dev, it's important, I think, for you not to just do things just the normal way, the way that everyone else is doing them. Why? Because it gives you a better chance of actually being able to get your resume seen by people. All right? I like this. So this is from someone in the HR department, employment industry, right? They're from the employment industry. If the email address of the hiring manager or recruiter is in a job posting, send an email instead of or in addition to applying to the job through the portal. So you send your resume in the regular way. Also send an email. So many resumes get filtered because of portal-based applicant tracking systems, ATS systems. That's what we talked about yesterday. Because of their automated sorting methods. So if you have the right experience but are missing a keyword or two, many of which are dictated by folks from HR who have zero expertise in your in-field or industry, your resume might not ever make it in front of a human. Please just email me. So this is an HR person saying, this is what happens, right? The HR person, let me tell you a story of how jobs get posted, all right? This is the story. So first, the dev team gets a project from higher up management. They say, hey, we need you to do this. And the dev team manager says, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to do that? I only have 2 devs, and we got to bring some people on to hit this deadline that my bosses want me to hit, right? So what do we do from there? So what we do is, they go to HR and they say, hey, we need to hire 3 devs and we need them fast. We want 2 mid-level devs and we want a junior dev to kind of mentor and bring on. And we need them in 2 weeks. Okay, so what does the HR department do? They have no idea how to write a job description for a developer. You know what they do? They head to Google, they type in developer job posting, and then they grab whatever the first couple of results are. They kind of copy it and paste it. They're like, oh yeah, yeah, 2 years of experience. Yeah, that sounds good. Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, they should know these technologies. Yeah, that sounds good. And then they paste it in their job posting. Okay. Now, you send your resume into these people, and then what happens is they have no idea what they're reading. And so they let the ATS system look at the job posting and then look at your resume, try to match it up. And if you do bad at that, then you actually don't make it to their in front of their eyes. And I heard a statistic. I know the statistic varies. It was almost 200 applicants per job. It was the statistic that I had heard. I'm not sure what industries they did it, if they did it, worldwide, USA wide, but the latest statistics that I saw was there's about 200 applicants per job. If you want more information, email me, LinkedIn me, I'll find you that statistic if you super care about it. But so, anyways, HR departments are trying a lot to really kind of dial down the amount of resumes they actually have to go through and work through. So that's why they use these systems. So what is he saying? He's saying, I'm an HR person. I've been given a developer job. He's like, would you just email me and just let me know that you exist, that you're a human, that and doing that is actually going to create a human connection. Now, this is what I think is key for junior devs. Like if you just send your resume in, the only thing like me on the other side who's hiring can compare you to is literally your experience versus someone else's experience. Well, you're a junior dev, you don't have experience yet. Or you have a little bit of experience, a tiny bit of experience. You can't win in a stat versus stat battle. So how do we get an edge when we're putting in these things? The way you do that is you actually talk to humans. You talk to normal people. As a matter of fact, I think that's my next slide, right? Talk to humans. You got to talk to an actual human being, a human person, and let them know, hey, I'm just putting my job description in, and I'll tell you exactly how I did it. So when I was working my first job, I was looking for a new job. I knew that I could make more money, and I was really excited for an opportunity that I saw come up. In my industry, I work as a Salesforce developer, so in my industry, remote jobs. There's a lot of remote jobs. There's a lot of stuff. It's a little tough to get into, but I saw a job come up for Twitch.tv. And now I play video games. I would consider myself a gamer. I haven't played video games in a long time, but I do consider myself a gamer. And so I'm into this. I'm into Twitch. I'm like, this is a rad opportunity. It's fully remote. I get to do this. Heck yeah. So I see this, and what do? Uh, I found this on LinkedIn. The hiring manager said, "Hey, me and my team are looking for Salesforce developers. Let us know if you know anyone that's interested." I was like, "Rad!" And you know what else they did? They tagged everyone on their team. So here's what I did. Okay, this might be crazy to you. This is me. This is me stepping off the beaten path. I friended. I connected with, because on LinkedIn it's a connection, right? I connected with the hiring manager. I said, "Hey, what's up? My name's Josh. I put my application in. Just want you to know I'm super psyched for this opportunity. Thanks. But even if it doesn't work out, thanks for connecting with me." Right? And so I sent that off to him. Then I went to everyone on the team and I said, "Hey, my name's Josh. I saw that you guys are hiring for your team. This seems like a super rad role. Just wanted you to know, I'm super interested. Would love to connect with you, even if it doesn't work out." Right? Why? Why did I do this? Because I knew that I was still a junior dev. I didn't have a shot of working for a giant company like this when they compared stat versus stat. But now, when they're looking through those resumes, right, and they see my face and they see that I'm the guy on LinkedIn, the friendly dude on LinkedIn that's trying to connect with them, that chatted with them, and some of them responded back to me, and we had a little bit of a conversation. Like, I'm that friendly guy. So what happened uh, so what when they're looking at these resumes now, they don't know this guy, they don't know this guy, they don't know this guy. They get to my resume. Oh, this is the guy that chatted me on LinkedIn. Like, yeah, let's. He seems like a nice dude. Let's put him in the pile. And so yeah, and so now This is a long shot approach. I do have to tell you, man, just to be real, like I did not get a call back for that job. But you know what? When they're looking for a Salesforce developer, they're going to remember, oh, this is the guy that was super psyched to work with us, right? And so my name's already in the hat. Like, so if they put another job posting and I'm looking for a job, I might say, hey, don't remember me? I was super psyched last time. Now I have more experience. Like, just consider me. Like, I'd love to be a part of this process. Why? Because I'm connecting on a human level. I'm connecting on a level that where I'm talking to the human. That's exactly what I mean by talk to humans up top. All right. And here was just some really cool stats that I thought were. This is just people giving you some tips that I want to just pass on to you. And this is specifically my last thing, and I didn't create a big bullet slide, but my big third bullet point would be apply for jobs that you're not qualified for. Apply for jobs that you're not qualified for. When I'm coaching people and I'm helping people, I make them apply for jobs that scare them. And why? Why do I do that? One, I think that we don't apply for jobs that scare us because we feel insecure, right? Like if you've ever felt scared to apply for a job, just like let me know in the comments. Like Josh, I've been scared to apply for a job. Here's the thing. You don't know how many people are in that job pool. You don't know how many people with even less experience than you, but have more pride than you, have applied for that job. You actually could have a good shot at landing this job. Another thing, I told you that people in the HR department, like they, when they're looking at developer, they don't speak developer, they don't speak technology, they don't speak all this stuff. They might just like your resume and say, I'm going to give this guy a call back. Like I apply for jobs when I'm looking for jobs. I apply for jobs that scare me. Why? I not because and some of them I just literally feel unqualified for. I'm like, oh, this is scary to apply for this. And so one, we're gonna, when I'm coaching people, I'm always like trying to build their self-confidence. You can do as a coder, as a developer, as someone who works in tech. Did you know that only 1% of the world's population knows how to do coding? Did you know that? You are in the top 1% of all people in the entire world that can do this thing. You are pretty special. You do need to apply for jobs that scare you. Now, enough of the trying to pep you up. I want you to see. I want you to read this with me, okay? These once again, real life people. These are HR people. These are people on Reddit. This was during the pandemic. Like this is the advice they're giving out. So I used to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. Do you see that? This is why you will follow up on your resume. This is why you follow up on your job postings, right? Like if you're getting value from this, like this video, man, and let us know that you're enjoying this. But this is why you apply to some of these job postings and you're going to reply and you're going to try to talk to humans. They want to know this person actually cares about what they're doing. I love this. My company once put out, this is the second one, right? My company once put out a job vacancy for a position that would assist me in my job. And looking purely at the job requirements, I did not feel that I was appropriate to even assist myself in a job I've been doing for 2 years. If you're looking for work and a job seems even remotely like you could do it, apply anyways. It's not like you have anything to lose. Apply to jobs that scare you. That's what he's saying. And listen to this. Now, my big old head kind of, my video box covers half of this. I'm going to read this one last one to you. This is real, right? Literally got a job last week that I was unqualified for. I said, F it. I'm running out of places. You can't read that. He says, I'm running out of places to apply. Let's give it a shot. Couple of days later, they replied, set up an interview, and I somehow, once again, I'm cutting that off, have a job tomorrow morning during a pandemic. Just go for it. Can't hurt you. This guy applied. This guy literally followed this advice, right? Tolkien 50:45. Literally followed this advice. and he got a job that he was totally unqualified for. Why? Because you don't know what the applicant pool is like. You don't know what chances you have. Now, I like to apply for jobs in three ideas. One, I have dream jobs. I have like, oh, that'd be a cool job to work for category. And then I have, meh, I need a job or I need cash jobs, right? And so these three categories, that depends on how much I'm gonna work on my resume. I'm gonna super for a dream job. I'm gonna super tailor my resume, super tailor my cover letter, make sure my resume is SEO'd for this job description. Send it in. It takes me a long time to do that. Middle of the line jobs. I'm gonna semi tailor my stuff for that. Why? And generally on my like cover letters, I keep my first paragraph and my last paragraph the same. Hey, my name is Josh. I'm super excited to apply for XYZ job. I might change that, name. Um, I feel like my past experiences would be a great addition to this job, and I think you'll see why. And then paragraph two is like, in my past, I did this, I did this, and I did this, and I saw that in the job posting you're looking for this. I've done this here and here. I think I'll be a great addition to the team, and then I'll just kind of say what I've done. This is where I highly customize my second paragraph. Third paragraph is sort of like, I hope that you see, I hope that as you look over my resume, you're going to see that I'm a great fit for this job, and you'll agree that my past experiences helped me fit for this job. I'm totally making this up off the top of my head, but this is generally what my cover letter looks like. If you have any questions, please email me here. Call my cell phone at any time here. And I appreciate you taking the time. Sincerely, Josh. Right? That's my cover letter, and trying to push them to read my resume. Now, unfortunately, only about 17% of cover letters are ever read, ever. But anyways, but if you don't have one, it disqualifies you from a lot of people. They're like, oh, this guy didn't even put a cover letter with me, which is why I don't spend a ton of time customizing. Anyways, so I do that. I highly customize for dream jobs, middle of the line jobs. Like, oh, that'd be a cool job. Those jobs I'm kind of customize. Maybe change that second paragraph a little bit. And then mid jobs, I just send in my stuff. I do bare minimum customization. Like, I just change from XYZ company. I'll change it to the new job company, and then I'll just send that over. And I've gotten callbacks from all three companies. And some of them I was unqualified for. And some of them, I remember one time I was in a technical interview for a Python job. And they asked me a technical question. It was real simple. It was like, I had to do something with the for loop. Well, I wrote a JavaScript for loop instead of a Python for loop, which totally disqualified me. And I was just so junior. I just had no idea. Like, and I was also learning all these technologies at once. Anyways, any of you guys ever had a bad job experience? Like, hey, write it in the comments. Like, let people know it's not easy, right? Like, sometimes we tank when we do these technical interviews. But anyways, my third point is just really bringing it back. Enough of the rabbit trails, right? Bringing it back to what we're talking about. My third point is apply for jobs that you don't feel qualified for. Why is that? Because you could have a shot. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know who actually applied. You don't know if you're better or worse than them. So just put your application in. The worst they can do is ghost you, not answer you. So all right. So that's kind of it for today's live stream. For those of you that are hanging out, I want to know, what is your biggest pain point when it comes to looking for junior dev jobs? What is this thing, what's the hardest thing that you have um, to try and do to try and get a job, to try and get hired? I'd love to know what you guys do that. And so if you guys actually ask me any questions right now, I'm going to hang out for a few seconds just to see if any live questions come up. For those of you that are watching this after the fact, write down some comments below. I'm definitely going to reply to you. I love staying in contact with you guys. I love learning, where you guys are actually at, and I love kind of just giving you free stuff just to really help you succeed. My tech job literally changed my life, okay? And I want to help you guys change yours as well. All right, so that's kind of it for it here today. If there's any questions, then I'm going to give you one more second. Last but not least, if you haven't joined our mailing list, head to tech-ology.co, tech-ology.co. And as you head there, I'm going to bring it back up for those of you that are just with us right now. This is what it looks like. This is where you sign up for the email list. And then, of course, you can click this. You can't see it, actually, unfortunately. But let me see if I can hide this real fast for you. Hey, there we go. Oh, sorry, you can't see that yet. There we go. All right. Now, if you see in this corner here, um, the free developer resume review, if you click on that, that's going to actually take you here where I'm giving away a free resume review. If you're looking to get through some of these ATS, applicant tracking systems, and you need help with your resume and you're not sure how well it stacks up with other people, fill out, put your email in here. Let them know that you're, sign up for that. Share this with a bunch of people. You get a bunch of entries into this thing. And I'm looking to really help some people just land their first job. All right, for the rest of you, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. That's enough for today. And if you have any questions, as always, leave your stuff in the description. Leave any questions in the description. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of the day.